and we are in, okay, this is Nazir. Nazir on Beit Chet. If his wife lost a baby, he is not a Nazir. Reb Shimon says he should say, if it was a viable child, I am a Nazir by previous obligation. But if not, I'm a Nazir voluntarily. If she again gave birth he is a Nazir. And Reb Shimon says he should say, if the first was viable, the first Naziris was obligatory, and this one is voluntary. But if not, the first Naziris was voluntary, and this one is obligatory. One who says, I'm a Nazir, and I'm a Nazir when a son will be born to me, if he began to count his own, and then a son was born to him, he completes his own and then counts that of his son. If he says, I am a Nazir when a son will be born to me, and I am a Nazir, if he began to count his own and then a son was born to him, he sets aside his own and counts that of his son and then completes his own. If he says, I am a Nazir when a son will be born to me, and I am a Nazir for 100 days, and a son was born to him, if before 70 days he loses nothing. If after 70 days he discounts 70, but there is a no head shaving for less than 30 days.
Okay. All right, Perkimel. Mish Amar. Harini Nazir. Okay, so guy says he's a Nazir, standard Nazir, 30 days. He finishes his 30-day Naziris, and now he wants to finish his term. Megalech Yom 31. So his shave must be on the 31st day. He's got to complete he has to complete his term of 30 days, and then only on the 31st days is he allowed to shave and bring his offerings. However, b'diavad, if he got it over enthusiastic and he said, "Yay, I made it to my 30th day," and he comes to the base of Mikdash with his and shaves and brings his offerings, and then afterwards he discovers, whoa, hold on a second, I didn't realize I was supposed to bring on the 31st and I brought on the 30th. So the Chachamim would say to him, it's okay, don't do it again, but this time you were fine. Hareini Nazir 30 yom. However, if he actually stipulates 30 days, right, which is even though he didn't have to, because like, you know, a Stam Naziris is 30 days. If he went and shaved on the 30th day, having stipulated 30 days, because when he stipulates 30 days, then it has to be 30 full days, and he doesn't, and you can't say mechzi yom kekula, you can't say, you know, partial day is a full day, because he has now added onto his Naziris an implicit condition that it's full days, 30 full days. So that would not, he would not be able to say on that, and he'd have to do another 30 days to grow his hair again and bring another korban. Mishna base, Misha Nazar Shtei Nazirios. So he says he's going to be Nazir twice. Megalech is Harishana Yom 31. So then on day 31, he shaves and brings his offerings. Vesashnia Yom 61, because now the 31st day also becomes the first day of his second term. Okay, so which means day 60 is the final day of his second term, and day 61 is the day when he brings his final korbanos. Okay, all good there. However, if he brought his first offering on the 30th day, as we saw in the previous Mishnah, then his second term begins immediately on that 30th day. So day 1 now becomes on day 30. Okay, which means that on 60th day is the correct time for his second offering. And if he shaved on 60 minus 1, in other words, on the 59th day, yatsa. So the same din applies, that it doesn't matter that they're two consecutive terms. The point being brought out over here is that the second term starts on the day that he completes his first term. So immediately, as soon as he's finished bringing his tiglachas and his korbanos, his second term immediately begins on that day. And this is something that Rabbi Papias testified about somebody who brought 2 consecutive Nazirios. if he shaves his first one on the 30th day, then he should bring the second one on the 60th day. Because the 30th day counts towards the number of days for his second Nazirus. And so Rabbi Patpius is simply giving an edus that this is the Masorah that he received from Chachamim about the same halacha that he said at the beginning of the Mishnah. All good?
Oh, good.
Mishnah Gimel, Nisha Amar, Hareini Nazir, Nitma Yom Shloshim. And he was doing fine right up until the 30th day. So serious, sorry, lost it all. Rabbi Eliezer on there, Eino so ser elashiva. No, this is Rabbi Eliezer. You don't lose the whole Nazirus. You lose 7 days. You're gonna have to be purified for, with the paraduma for 7 days. Okay. And then you carry on counting your Nazirus, and that's it, and you're fine. Hareini Nazir, but hang on, is this? I think Rabbi Eliezer is talking about dafka if it happened on the 30th day.
Does Rabbi Eliezer consider?
Yes. It must be that it was that it happened on the 30th day because since we would say if he had shaved and brought his korbanos on that 30th day, even though he's meant to bring on the 31st day, but if he would have shaved and brought his korbanos on that day, he would have been yotze. So similarly, says Rabbi Eliezer, if he becomes tameh, okay, so let him wait a week and then he'll bring his korbanos. Okay. But however, if somebody says Harini Nazir Shloshim Yom, Nitma Yom Shloshim, so then even Rabbi Eliezer will concede that if a person stipulated a full 30-day term, then Rabbi Eliezer will say that it's that he loses the whole lot because even if he had brought his korbanos on that day, he would not have been yotze. Hey, excuse me. Oh. All right, Nadarim. Yud Aleph Vav.
If she said, Cohen these figs and grapes with respect to my tasting them, and he confirmed the neder with regard to figs, it becomes confirmed in its entirety. If he revoked the neder with regard to figs, it is not revoked until he revokes it with regard to grapes as well. If she said, Cohen figs with respect to my tasting them, and grapes with respect to my tasting them, there are two nadarim. If a man said, I know that there are nadarim, but I did not know that they could be revoked. He can revoke the order, he can revoke the neder, but he said, I know that nadarim could be revoked, but I did not know that this was a neder. Reb Meir says he cannot revoke it. The sages, however, say he can revoke it. One who is prohibited by a neder to benefit from his father-in-law, and he wants to give money to his daughter, he says to her, this money is given to you as a gift, provided that your husband has no rights in it, but that you put it in your mouth. Okay, so that's for her sustenance. Okay. Let's see then. Almost. What are we going to do after Nadarim? Because we're going to go after Nazir. Okay.
Service.
And so we start Nazir all over again. Okay. Yud Gimel. Yud Gimel Daled. If one step, I do that all the time. If one stipulated to give money to his son-in-law and subsequently reneged, she should. No, that's not it. If one stipulated to give money to his son-in-law and subsequently reneged, she should sit until her hair turns white. Adman says she can say, had I stipulated for myself, I would sit until my hair turns white. Now that my father has stipulated for me, what can I do? Either marry me or divorce me, said Rabbi Gamliel, and I approve of Adman's view. If one causes them the ownership of a field and he's signed on as a witness, Adman says he can say the second one is amenable to me. The first one is more powerful than he, and the comments, however, say he has lost his right. If he made it a boundary match for another, he has lost his right. If someone went overseas and the path to his field was lost, Adman says he may go with the shortest path. And the sages say, however, say he must buy a path even for 10,000 zuz or fly in the air. If one produced the sun, that's it, right? Okay. Well, we cut. Okay, well cut. We may build a railing for a roof or for a balcony in an unskilled manner, but not in a professional manner. We may replaster the cracks and roll them as if it were with a roller, with the hard and the hand and the foot, but not with a trowel. A hinge, a socket, or beam, or a lock, and a key that broke may be repaired during Kol HaMoed, provided that one does not plan his work for Kol HaMoed. All pickled food that has been eaten during the festival may be pickled herring. I'm sorry, pickled herring. Where did that come from?
I don't know. I was looking for where did you find that one? It's what's on your mind.
Probably no, that's what my wife told me to get, probably. Yeah. All pickled foods that can be eaten during the festival may be pickled during Kol HaMoed. One who turned over his olives to soften them and then mourning befell him, or an accident befell him, or his workers misled him, may place the first beam and leave it until after the festival. And that's the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yossi says he may pour the olives into a press, complete the process, and seal the barrels in a usual manner. Similarly, one whose wine was in a vat and then mourning befell him, or an accident befell him, or his workers misled him, may pour the wine into barrels, complete his processing, and seal the barrels in its usual manner. And that's the opinion of Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yehuda says he may cover the barrels with boards so that the wine does not sour. I can't even eat herring. I don't know where I came from. Okay. Olive zion. Leaves, young sprouts, the tops of vines and vine buds are permitted in respect to Orla and Revi and to a Nazareth and are forbidden in an Asherah. Rabbi Yossi says vine buds are forbidden because they are fruit. Rabbi Eliezer says if one curdles milk with the sap of Orla, it is forbidden. Rabbi Yoshua says, I heard it expressly that if one curdles with the sap of leaves or the sap of the roots, it is permitted. With the sap of unripe fruit, it is forbidden because it contains fruit. Protective grapes, grape kernels, grape husks, and the wine made from these, the skin of a pomegranate and a sprout, nutshells, and fruit stones are forbidden on account of Orla in an Asherah. And to a Nazarite, they are permitted in respect to Revi. Fallen unripe fruit of all are forbidden. And Rabbi Yossi says one may plant a shoot of Orla, but one may not plant a nut of Orla because it is a fruit, and one may not grant early date berries of Orla. Okay. And here. Negayim. Okay. What happened here? Okay. Yud Daled Vav. The cedar wood should be 1 cubit long and as thick as a quarter of a leg of a bed. Measure the thickness by splitting a bed leg into 2 pieces and then splitting the 2 pieces into 4. The eov must not be Greek eov and Kokela eov, and nor Roman eov and desert eov, or nor any other ezov with a qualifying description. On the 8th day, the Mitzvah brings 3 animals: a sin offering, a guilt offering, and a burnt offering. A poor person brings birds for the sin offering and the burnt offering. The Mitzvah comes to the guilt offering, leans both hands on it, and slaughters it. 2 Kohanim receive his blood, one in a vessel and the other in the hand. The Kohanim receives his blood in a vessel, comes and throws it against the side of the altar. The Kohanim receives the blood in his hand, then comes to the Mitzvah. The Mitzvah has already immersed himself in the chamber of the Mitzarim, and he has come to stand in Nicanor's gate. Rabbi Yehuda says he does not require immersion. Okay.
Orios. Nice 5.
For all the commandments of the Torah for which one is liable for willful transgression is karas. And for inadvertent transgression is a sin offering. An individual offers a she-lamb or a she-goat, and a king offers a he-goat, and an anointed Kohen to the court offers a bull. For idolatry, the individual, the king, and the anointed Kohen offer a she-goat, and the court offers a bull and a goat, a bull as a burnt offering, and a goat as a sin offering. With regard to an Asham Toda, the individual and the king are liable, but the anointed Kohen and the court are exempt. With regard to the definite guilt offering, the individual, the king, and the anointed Kohen are liable, but the court is exempt. For the sin of hearing the voice of adoration, for the utterance of an oath of the lips, of the contamination of the temple or its consecrated articles, the court is exempt but the individual, the king, and the anointed Kohen are liable.
But the sentence carries on.
Right, an anointed Kohen who sinned and then passed from his position of anointment, and similarly the king who sinned and then passed from his position of greatness, the anointed kings bring a bull and the king brings a goat. He-goat.
Wait, hold on. No. You left the end of the sentence, the previous Mishnah. You were in the middle of a sentence.
Right, I'm sorry. Liable. But the Kohen Gadol is not liable for the tumor contamination of the temple or its consecrated articles. These are the words of Reb Shimon. What do they offer? The variable offering, sin offering, Reb Eliezer says, and the king offers a he-goat. Okay. An anointed Kohen who sinned and then passed from his position of anointment, and similarly a king who sinned and then passed from his position of greatness, the anointed king brings a bull and the king brings a he-goat.
Okay.
Okay. Have a great Shabbos. Enjoy.
You too. Have a lovely Shabbos.
Well, bye.
Bye.